Hi, my name's Freddie, and in the next couple of months I hope to go to Africa through the organisation IBHQ to volunteer in 6 separate projects in 6 different countries. So the projects are as followed. I hope to go to South Africa to work on a sports education programme for kids. This gives them the opportunity to learn teamwork skills, leadership skills. It also sets them up in future to be able to get scholarships, which obviously provides them with a good education. Aside from that, it also just gives them the freedom to actually run around and be kids, which is actually not something they get a lot with their lifestyles. So, I personally think that I'd be good to work with the kids because one, I get along fantastic with kids, always have. At a party, you're more likely to catch me in the corner running around in the bouncy castle with the kids than sitting at the table drinking with the adults. So yeah, I think sports education is a fantastic project for underprivileged kids, and I think the children will love a blue-haired Irish girl out there to accompany them. So that's why I want to go to South Africa, and that's why the Children's Sports Education Project is important to me. My second country will be Zimbabwe, and in Zimbabwe I am going to be working on animal conservation. I'll be working with the big 5, so that includes lions and rhinos, so on and so forth. I don't think it's any secret these days as to why animal conservation is so necessary. Obviously hunting and poaching and the likes happens so much in Africa that their wildlife is incredibly endangered. I remember as a child, being maybe in Spain or somewhere like that, walking through a market, and I remember picking up like a little elephant and I wanted to buy it. I remember saying to maybe my mum, really want to buy this elephant, I thought it was so cute. And I remember her telling me that in order to make that little elephant, a big real life elephant had to be killed just to get its tusks, to make a miniature elephant. And that was something that just never made sense in my head. Like, what? Why are you killing an animal so you can make a miniature version of the animal? Like, I'd so much rather see an elephant than a carving out of its tusks. So, animal conservation is, again, another thing that is very important to me, so that is why I want to go to Zimbabwe. My next project is going to be in Madagascar. I'm not going to lie, this one's like a little guilty pleasure of mine. I'm fascinated with Madagascar. I think it's something like 95% of its wildlife is actually indigenous to Madagascar. So I'd be interested to see all the different kind of species and all that there. But out there I will be doing forest conservation, which has again just always been something that is for some reason really important to me. I cannot even begin to tell you why I like trees or why I think it's important. But I have always known that it is so incredibly wrong to be tearing down forests at the rate we do. I find it completely unnecessary, and I think it's absolutely disgusting that we tear down the homes of thousands of species on this planet, some of which we have yet to discover. So, let's not kill it off before it's even been found. So yeah, I'll be working with lemurs, butterflies, the forestation that's out there, and that is why I want to go to Madagascar, and it's why forest conservation is important to me. So my fourth project is going to be Kenya, and I will be working with people with special needs. This is something that I never even knew that I had to be concerned about. I was watching Russell Howard's Good News a couple of years ago, which I don't know if you've seen it, but it's basically a comedy show where he does riffs on the news, but at the end of it he shows a clip from somewhere in the world showing us good news, trying to restore a little faith in humanity. And I remember watching an episode that finished with a charity out in Africa, and it was somebody going out there to teach sign language, and people came from all over to come to these lessons because there were hundreds, thousands of people who've never been able to communicate with people in their lives. But I have been learning sign language, and I want to take that information with me, not just to the special needs project, but to all of them. I want this information out there. I want to bring leaflets, and I want to bring little books all about sign language so that those people can actually be given a voice. I don't know for sure that I'm going to end up being able to teach someone who really needs it sign language, but I do know that there are lots of other people out there who also need my help. So that's why the Special Needs Project in Kenya is incredibly important to me. The fifth project that I'm going to be working on, I'm going to be in Uganda. I'm going to be doing women's education. Now, this is something that is another project I keep saying is very dear to my heart. But I myself am a huge feminist, massive campaigner for the He for She campaign. First and foremost, I'll be teaching them about safe sex, how to protect themselves against HIV and AIDS and such like things. Well, I'll also be teaching these women that they have a place in this world, that their voices matter, and that they should be passing this information on to their daughters and their future generations. I personally feel like I can speak to these women because I know how scared I was to go off into the world as a female solo backpacker, because everybody tells you it's dangerous, you could get kidnapped, you never know what's going to happen, and I feel like as a woman I've done my gender proud in not being afraid to go out there and to be strong. So I want to tell these women my story. I want them to know that there is a world out there who cares about them and that is full of opportunities, and that they should be proud of who they are and to keep being strong and to pass the information down for future generations. So again, that's why I want to go to Uganda. That's why women's education is very important to me. Now, my final project is going to be in Ghana, and this is above all the charity that means the most to me. I'm going to be working with an orphanage, which is something that it's just always been important to me. But I saw a TED Talk by Sarah Silverman, the comedian, where she did a piece where she said she cannot understand why we continue to bring babies into this world when there are so many of our children are left motherless already. So ever since I heard that sentence has rung in my ears nearly every day, that there are, as she said, we have children out there who are just motherless at the moment, and I want to be that mother. I want to go out there, I want to help them. I realise there's a very high chance that I'm going to get to Ghana and I may not want to leave, but you know, I think I'll be happier for it. So if you can help me on my journey and help me get to all these charities and finish up my journey in Ghana, I will be so appreciative. You have no idea. Every single cause that I'm going out there to work with has been carefully selected. I've looked through many a charity and many a project in the last few months. I will be working with each charity for a week, except for the Zimbabwe project, which I will be doing 2 weeks, and hopefully the Ghana project, which is with the orphanage, I would also like to do 2 weeks there. This is all going to depend on how much I raise through fundraising, and they are all very dear to my heart. I aim to do a web series while I'm on the road, and I want to keep you updated with what I'm doing during my trip. I want to show you people's responses to the work that I've done, to the work that you've helped me do. I want to show you kids as I bring them a whole bag of new sports equipment. I want to see the excitement on their face, and I want you to see that excitement. I want you to feel like you're part of this journey as well, because you are. Because I could not do this without you and without your help. So I'm going to put a link below, which is going to be to my YouTube page, where you'll be, over the next few months, able to keep updated on the whole trip and to see how everybody's getting along and to see how your donation was able to contribute to these people's lives. It is my belief that if we are ever going to see a change in this world, then we're all going to have to play a part. Now, if you don't feel like you have the time or the resources to get out there and do hands-on work, then do not fear, because you can play your part by simply clicking on the link below and making a very quick donation. Okay, thank you very much for your time, guys. See ya!